Hello, my friends. Welcome to the PC Elitist. My name is Woodsy.
My name is Shepard.
And today we're talking about game difficulty. And we're coming at it from the mentality of the developers. And this is kind of how I see developers bringing the difficulty level. I think that my theory is that a lot of developers have a mindset of, we want you to have fun and we don't want to interrupt that fun as much as possible, where other developers see that their community wants a challenge and we will throw them curveballs and challenge them every step of the way, and that to them is fun.
Mm-hmm. And you're playing Legend of Grimrock right now, which I just tried today, and the visuals are fantastic, but this isn't a Grimrock review. That is forthcoming from Woodsy. But you said that Grimrock does a great job of this curveball.
Yes, it is a throwback game. So if anyone remembers the old, Ultima Arena or Might and Magic series, these dungeon crawl, and I think even the original Elder Scrolls games were this way. Someone's going to flame me so hard for not knowing exactly.
Right.
But these dungeon crawl types of game were very much just a flat landscape going through these dungeons. So it's a throwback, and its difficulty level feels very... Well, I've come to put it into terms as PC-ish, because I don't feel that consoles do it anymore. Even though everyone knows the hardest game on the planet is Kid Icarus. Get through 15 feet of that game and not die. I will commend you. It's such a hard game. But anyway, so this game started throwing me curveballs throughout it, and I realized, oh man, I missed that so much. Remember the old Doom games when you would use your red key on a door and then you'd just hear 10 doors open and just suddenly there's 100 monsters in the room with you.
Oh shit!
And games nowadays, because what I said, I think they use too many focus groups, and people say, well, I died 4 times and it interrupted my fun. Then okay, well, we need to scale it back. Mm-hmm. So this is a kind of an acknowledgement that this exists right now in our gaming. That people come at it from 2 different directions, because there's 2 different types of people. They want to be challenged. They want to just have fun.
And third group who wants the challenge to be the fun.
Right. Well, yeah. That's the first group.
Yeah.
People want to be challenged. I'm not being challenged and going, I hate this challenge.
But I love challenges.
But then, I don't know if we want to get into this in this episode. There's also the way you're challenged is a factor as well.
I have a point to mention that it kind of refers to the way you're challenged. And I think dying in a game is a big part of the challenge for a lot of people. And I completely agree that a lot of developers are probably afraid of making a game too hard to have people say, well, this is just stupid. Because the game can't be arbitrarily hard. I mean, you feel good. You feel a sense of accomplishment when you legitimately complete a difficult task. But then there are things like beating Vega in Street Fighter, where you're like, this fucker is like a meth addict bouncing all over the screen. What the hell am I supposed to do here? And when you're younger, like I was when I played that game, it's really frustrating. I wasn't able to be an adult and say, okay, I'm going to figure out what his weak points are, this, that, and the other. It was just, you're 12 years old or however old I was, and you're like, this is just fucking stupid. So that when you finally beat him, you throw the controller down, and you're just like, okay, I'm done. Walk away.
The way you beat him was there was always the local Street Fighter expert in your neighborhood who knew how to beat Vega.
Yeah, exactly. And this was before YouTube, so he couldn't say, check out my video on how to do it. He said, let me come over and do it for you.
Right.
Oh, those days. So a game, and I've mentioned Twisted Metal Black several times about how I love the difficulty on there. So dying is a big part of it. But dying has to feel legitimate. It's like I have a reasonable expectation that I won't survive this. I did, and that is an accomplishment. It can't, and sometimes there's no way you're going to survive this, and you did. It's not like the kill screen, like in King of Kong. Yeah. You get to the kill screen.
Yeah.
So a game can't be just arbitrarily hard. You can't just you're fighting one boss and he kills you every time. It can't also only be you go into a room like a Jet Li style with 50 guys and they just mob you and kill you.
Right.
It has to kind of vary. And I think a big example that I draw upon. When Splinter Cell Conviction was being made, one of the things they bragged about was that there would be random guard patrol routes. And so you couldn't just try and sit in the shadows and learn the pattern. You just had to kind of guess The guy turned that way. I need to sneak up on him right now and like seize the moment. So you had to be very spontaneous. I think that's a big part of difficulty. But for example, with stealth action games, where the fear isn't just of dying, it's of being seen. So it's an extra layer of difficulty. So for an example, I'll draw in terms of the way you're challenged. Some guys, some guards you sneak up on, if they think they hear something behind them, they'll turn and look and investigate it. I'd like a game where the guy could be curious and he'll turn and investigate me, and there may be some guy who just turns around and starts firing. That uncertainty would tell, because if I know that a guard will just go, huh? And there'll be like a big question mark over his head, huh?
Right.
And then he'll come search for me, I know I can play fast and loose. I can always retreat into the shadows and try again. If there's an uncertainty about how the enemies are going to react, even if it gets predictable by the end, having random responses from AI, to me, is a great way to challenge a player and make it difficult without having to worry about, oh, are you dying too many times? And so I think you can achieve it in many ways, like I said, with death or with discovery, or even in the way the response from the enemy characters comes about. I think that that's the best way to challenge someone. It's having them have to play long enough or smart enough to figure out a pattern if there is one, or you can be completely ridiculous and just make every single encounter completely random.
Right.
And you could walk up to an NPC thinking he's a vendor, and then he stabs you in the chest.
Well, I think a lot of the
schizophrenic MMORPG, anyone could be a murderer.
Right. Well, we've talked about this before, and I think I mentioned this in the video, the review of Sniper Elite V2. Did I say it then that they should take all their UI guys and just fire them?
I think you said it. Yeah, I don't know. Oh yeah, you did. Yeah.
Yeah. The UI, they usually over-inform the player, which is the problem. Mm-hmm. The UI is a big, egregious factor in too easy, giving you waypoints every 25 feet.
And enemy HUD indicators that tell you where they're coming from, where they're shooting from.
Exactly.
Yeah,
just too much.
And it's fine if you're playing like a Future Warrior game where you have a helmet on that can tell you that information, but in World War II, no, I don't know where he's shooting from.
Right.
Or where that sound is coming from.
Yeah, I mean, there's some things that, back, I think in the past when they had indicators, I kind of thought it makes sense because maybe the graphics are grainy or the sound isn't that good. You don't know what side. And if you were really standing there and someone shot at you from the left, you would know it came from the left. Mm-hmm. And you would turn that way.
Yeah.
Right? But now we kind of have 3D, we have surround sound and great sharp graphics that if there's a sniper up high to our left, we know he's up high to the left. And I don't need a graphics indicator to tell me so. And graphics indicators, like, they take the immersion out of the game. Waypoints, part of difficulty, especially in a game like Sniper Elite, should be finding your way. Why give you maps in the game when you don't need it? You flat out don't need it.
Not once. I forgot that there were maps in the game until you mentioned it in the review.
Yeah, and Legend of Grimrock even gives you an option. Do you even want a map?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because it's like, people like to hand draw it. You could do it yourself on graph paper, which is an intriguing idea. Every time I started a game, I was like, should I do it?
Yeah.
This time, spoiler alert, I didn't do it. But so we need to really, I would like to get back to this. We're here to be challenged, not only to have fun. I think there's always a place in gaming for that just fun factor. But if you call a game Sniper Elite,
yeah,
it should be Elite.
It should be Elite, and if you're going to call it Sniper Elite, don't even have an easy mode. Have there be normal, which is tough, and hardcore, which is ridiculous. I think, and again, I'd love to talk to developers who make these games to ask them, because we don't just want to assume that they are able to do it, but they just don't for some reason, or they're too stupid to do it.
Right.
I know it must be hard to do all that we're asking for. And when I say ask for it, we'd like to see these, but again, like Sniper Elite, we enjoyed that game. We just think there were some things that could have done better. But in terms of difficulty, I think that a great part of feeling like you accomplished something is not, I figured out the one way to do that, the one way to solve that puzzle, the one way to complete that mission. That was always my problem with the Hitman series. It wasn't truly a one way to do that, but it was like, really, there are only one or two ways to do it. And they felt, what it came down to is just stand facing a corner, don't let them see your face. It kind of dumb ways. I think that a big part of the challenge, the hard mode in any game, should be only the best players in that game should be able to beat it. Like when they have achievement systems where you can see how many people have achieved this certain achievement on Steam, I want to see that, so-and-so, like kind of like beating the StarCraft 2 campaign on Brutal. Mm-hmm. In the beginning, very few people did that. It took a lot of people a lot of effort to get a lot better to win that game.
I know I had to.
Yeah.
I had to get a lot better at StarCraft 2 before
Yeah, so I thought, I myself didn't beat it on Brutal. I didn't try, but I know just my skill level, I couldn't do it right now. I have to put in a lot of time. But I want the hardest mode in a game to be a legitimate nightmare. Not unbeatable, but I want to know that if I beat it, I'm one of only a few people who did. Right. And fine, have 5 different difficulties with scaling availability. I mean, that's fine. But make at least one of them for the hardcore gamer who's like, I'm going to beat this friggin' game. I don't care what it takes.
Right.
And do it in such a way that it's not just you figured out the one way to do it, or you went on YouTube and found the one way to do it.
A great example.
Make it, sorry, just last point. Make it so that you have to be sharp at the skills and mechanics the game has to beat it.
Right. I'm not a big racing fan, and I'm not a big fighting game fan, like Street Fighter or what have you. But every once in a while, that game grabs me, and I like it so much. I just like the mechanics. The last F-Zero game that came out on the GameCube, I got attached to that game. I don't know why. I just loved it. And the last level, actually a lot of the levels, you are going to play this match, and you're not going to win. You're not going to get first place until you've memorized this map. Mm-hmm. Just flat out. Memorize the course, or you're not going to win.
No.
And I loved it. And I died a lot.
I think, and so there was a question, someone commented and asked us what we think of this game that's just, I don't know if it just came out or it's coming out. Dark Souls, Prepare to Die Edition. I haven't read much about it other than the Steam store page, just a couple of the resources here and there. And what they're saying is expect to die a lot.
Right.
And I really wonder, I don't know if I'm going to get it, at least soon. I might get it later on. But if any of you who are planning on playing it, I really want to know, hopefully after you watch this video, let us know what you think of a game that promises it's going to be difficult.
Or send us a free copy.
Right. If
you could send us gifts on Steam.
And we are curious. It just, more broadly, as we always turn it over to you, what do you think of this whole discussion about game difficulty? Do you think games have gotten easier over time? Do you think that you've just become a better gamer, so they just feel easier, they haven't actually changed? Are there particular games that you've played that are just very difficult, and you either couldn't beat it or you did, and you feel like master of the universe?
Right.
Like a certain achievement you have on GoldenEye.
Beating Facility in 2 minutes.
Yes.
It's so hard. I never beat Ultima Online. I'm kind of disappointed about that.
Yeah. Anyway, as always, let us know what you think, unless you think that's too hard to do. Sorry, it was lame, but I had to.
My name is Woodsy.
My name is Shepard. This is the PC Elitist, signing out.